love that. So firstly, I'm going to give you a bit of a big introduction. Sarah,
Okay.
who, when you watch Cruising to the Ends of the Earth next week, you are going to get to know Sarah even more. If you're watching the show already, get ready. You're going to see this face. So we're basically chatting to a celebrity before she becomes a celebrity. You get a sneak peek. You are a activities manager. So let's do this first of all. Sarah, who are you? Where are you from? What is an activities manager? What ship are you on?
Well, firstly, I want to say thank you so much for having me here on the call. It's a pleasure and an honor to get to chat to so many of you this morning. So, I've actually been working with Princess Cruises for the last 6 years. Started off as a junior assistant cruise director. My very first contract, I'd never even stepped foot on a cruise ship, and found that they were like, oh my goodness, let's send you for your very first contract to Australia. So, I
Yes.
went down to Australia for my very first contract, and since then, I've done 8 contracts, moved my way up through the ranks now to activity manager. I'm actually from St Ives in Cornwall, so a Cornish girl, born and bred. And yes, now been working with Princess, yeah, 6 years, and I wouldn't do anything else. And basically, my role as an activity manager is to, along with the cruise director, we facilitate and host all the entertainment on board, whether that be our game shows, our trivias, our dance parties, our theatrical shows, whether it be hosting and facilitating those, or whether it be kind of creating your smaller piazza events, everything from it could be a giant Connect Four to a full game show like Do You Want to Dance? It can be absolutely everything.
And you do that while only doing what, 4 or 5 hours a day, right? Is that how it works as a
Oh
crew
my
member?
goodness. No. So, what ends up being is when I sign on for those 6 months, I will work every single day for those 6 months. So, I end up working from my day normally starts about 8 a.m. when myself and Andy, my cruise director, we film a show called The Wake Show. So, The Wake Show is basically a chance for the guests to connect with us every morning on their TVs. We tell them what not to miss. So, that was when my day will start. Then, normally, office admin, a variety of events, and throughout the day, I don't probably end up leaving the floor until about 11 o'clock at night. And that's if everything goes well with karaoke. If something goes wrong in karaoke, I'm running on down there to make sure everything's fine.
And when you say something goes wrong, you're not talking about just someone like me trying to sing a difficult song, right? That's not the issue. Um,
Not at all, no.
I appreciate very generous. And I've got to ask you, like, people won't know yet, but I'm really excited that we're going to see you on Cruising to the Ends of the Earth. I get to watch you this week and I'm chatting to you now. What was it like filming that and how was that experience? Have you seen the
Oh my
show that you're in yet, or
goodness.
is it a surprise to you too?
So it's actually going to be a surprise to me as well. So I know there's a few people out there that already seen episodes in advance. We actually had an article came out in the Daily Express a few months ago where they kind of like just before the start of the show came out. So I got to do an interview with them, which was awesome. But it was almost about a year ago now that myself and one of my very good friends, Katie, she's an activity staff. We were both kind of selected through working on this show, and we were both kind of we got to go out on excursions, we got filmed. It was very bizarre because you just kind of got used to being followed around with a camera for almost a whole week, doing everything from bingo to shore excursions in Alaska. And it was a truly amazing experience, and honestly very very lucky and very very blessed to get that chance.
I love it so much, and thank you for taking the time now to chat to us. Now,
Of
Sarah, I
course.
want to what I want to do today is try to really enhance where Princess stands out for activities, and they really
Yes,
do. It's not just you mentioned some of the standard things like karaoke, which as much as they're standard, they need to be there because guests love them.
they
But I
do.
really want to talk about some of the other things that Princess does that stands out. We talked about before. Talk about some of the big shows, maybe game shows that we have,
Yes.
parties, 80s night interactive. Give me a bit of an update on that.
Of course. So here at Princess, we have what I like to call the Big Five. Now, these are kind of the Big Five events that myself and cruise director Andy we will run. So they kind of start off. We've got the Liars Club game show. We have the Yes No game show. We've got Marriage Match, which if you've ever done kind of a game show like Mr. and Mrs., it's that
Yeah.
kind of similar idea. Very much a fan favorite. This one will we normally perform this one in Vista. At the back of the ship is a 300 to 400 seat venue in there, and we
Love
will
it.
pack it probably standing room only.
I love that. And you said that was, is that all five? Or are we missing
That's
one?
three. Then we also have Do You Want to Dance, which is our Piazza event. Kind of similar idea to kind of Strictly Come Dancing or Dancing with the Stars, but it's with the officers.
That's cool. See, that's the
Yes,
kind of thing that I really think. So that connection between guests and crew. When I speak to
yes.
everybody, when I speak to everyone about why you keep coming back to Princess, they always say the crew, the connection. And I mean, I'm
Mm.
sure some people watching this now are like, I want to sell with Sarah. That's great. So did guests get selected for that? They just sign up? Is it a whole journey? Is it one evening?
So normally around kind of 15 minutes before, we will already as kind of crew members be scouting out throughout the cruise, seeing who's kind of been really on the dance floor, who's really enjoying themselves, just so from the start we can be like, we think we know who might be fun for this, but we'll also very much put everyone into what we call the bucket of destiny. They'll pop their name in the hat. If they get pulled out, they are selected and they are part of the show. It's one of the best experiences. We also have as well, I think I missed one, majority rules as well. This
I
one is a
love that
very much
game.
a guest run event where we will give the crowd a statement, and whatever the majority answer is the winner. However, we read those answers live, and honestly, this one can get it's as crazy as what we have in the room, but it ends up being almost like a 45-minute comedy show. It's probably one of my favorite events we have on board.
I love it. And what I really appreciate about that, it's all guest focused, guest led. I mean, the
Yes.
idea of dancing with the team members, I think it's
Mhm.
hilarious. I would not have been very good at that at sea. No one with me as a teammate would have won anything. But there's also other things like I always get told about Deal or No Deal. You've got other game
Mm.
shows, haven't you, as well? Talk to me about that.
Of course. So we've got two other kind of big game shows that I really want to touch on. Deal or No Deal is a fantastic collaboration we have between the casino and entertainment. So normally either run by cruise director or myself. We will kind of recreate the full Deal or No Deal experience live on stage. That includes the telephone, that includes the banker. We'll normally bring two guests up during the show, and they can win up to $1,000 on stage.
That's good. That's the tie-in with the casino because it's real money
Yes,
to be
of course,
won,
and
and
it is real money.
that's so cool. I love the idea of that. And you said
And
there's
the
one
great
other
thing as
one.
well, yeah,
Oh,
oh
sorry, go
sorry,
ahead.
the great thing we have with that as well is if you aren't selected randomly by casino to go on stage, everyone in the audience also has a chance of winning up to $1,000. Everyone gets a little game card, and the boxes have to, if they match what's opened on stage, that you can actually win up to $1,000 just sitting in your seat. And I've had that happen before where someone on stage might win $2 and someone in the audience just won $300. It's really, really cool.
I love that so much. And it also, I guess, the atmosphere really goes with the audience. Now, you said there's one more. I didn't want to push ahead on it, but I am curious.
So we have an event on board which I'm so excited to be a part of, which is the Voice of the Ocean.
So cool.
So we have a full collaboration with, I believe it's the should be NBC over in the USA and obviously over here in the UK, with the full voice TV show. So obviously broadcast in 42 different countries. We bring it live on stage. That includes the full rotating chairs. Throughout the cruise, six guests are randomly selected by audience members. So we do two sets of auditions. The other guests will vote for those guests. They then go through a full cruise experience where they will do headshots, they do live rehearsals with the band, and then they perform on stage in the Princess Theatre and are voted on for a winner by their fellow guests. We actually did it yesterday. One of the best ones I've seen. We had some incredible contestants.
I love all those interactions with the guests and the focus. I really,
Mm.
that makes me happy. Now, you did mention dancing. Now, something for us as Princess in general, our guests are generally active, they're explorers, they're multi-generational, and all the things you've just talked about now sounds so much fun for everybody. But you talk about dancing, and that is something that our clientele does enjoy as well, getting out there and having some fun. You mentioned about dancing with the officers, but when we were chatting before, you mentioned you even do things like line dancing, Zumba, ballroom dance classes, and these are included, right?
Yes. So although we have a incredible fitness center which does have their own private classes, on Princess we want to ensure we keep everything as inclusive as possible and that our guests can get the most amount without having to pay anything extra on top. So every day we will have Zumba classes from fully licensed Zumba instructors. So currently on my team here on board, including myself, we have Ashley and Davis. We have three Zumba instructors on this ship. We also have Ashley, who is a professional ballroom instructor back home in India, and he
So cool.
teaches ballroom class on board. He's actually been doing a progressive salsa, which has been incredible. And also we have line dance, which normally I'll take. That can be everything from a good old boot scoot and boogie to modern line dances like the new version of Footloose that was in the movie a couple of years ago.
Love it. And then what I always liked about that, and it's so important, and it's great with the beautiful piazza or atrium, depends what ship you're on, is whether you want to dance or whether you just want to people watch. It does really bring everybody together. That venue must be incredible to host in.
It is. And I think probably my favorite event that I actually get to host in there is probably our multi-venue 80s night.
Talk to me about 80s. Do people get dressed up? Do people bring outfits? Do you have a cool headband? What's happening, Sarah?
Oh my goodness. So 80s night, I believe, is probably one of our strongest products we have on Princess. It is a full multi-venue event. So normally it starts in Princess Live, where we'll have game shows, trivias throughout the day. We'll be showing 80s movies all around the deck. Often all the bar guys will be wearing 80s t-shirts as well. And then it all kind of leads into a big party in the piazza with we've got the sound breakers currently on this ship. We've got a whole range of different party bands that will play all great 80s music. If it's in a what we'd call a more cooler itinerary. So, for example, right now I'm currently looking at Iceland out of my window. We will move the party inside to the piazza and make it a really big song and dance there. If we are in the Caribbean or we're in somewhere a little bit warmer, like the Med, we'll move that party to the open deck, which is just as electric.
I love it. So actually, you've just done me a favor, and this is something good because if I'm running a trip for some of the team here in Carnival House to the Enchanted, and I haven't told them they
Oh,
need to bring their 80s outfit, but now because
yes.
of this, I will do it. Now, do many people dress up? Will I be the only person?
It depends on the itinerary, but honestly, I've seen a lot of our shorter itineraries. We definitely have our guests who will fully dress up in full 80s gear. So last night was our 80s night, and we had the 80s sing along with Sarah, and I had a whole bunch of guests all dressed up in different wigs and headbands. Oh, it was incredible.
And we got to talk about music because you've referenced it a couple of times, right? And I know this is I'm jumping away from what I told you I was going to
No,
talk about, but
not at
I
all.
love music, love live music. We've got so many incredible venues. You're on Majestic. They've just added the O'Malley's pub. Like this is cool. Can you give me a bit of an update on music, the kind of venues Princess has, and sort of the experience? Like, is it just one music set for one band a night, Sarah? Talk to me about it.
Not at all. So we have, I think on this ship, we currently have, counting all between them, between house band and party breakers, sorry, sound breakers, I think we have nearly 42 musicians currently on board.
So you've got the
They
main
are,
rock band.
yes, so
You've got
we've got the party band. We also have our house band who will perform mainly in the Princess Theatre, but we'll also do different music sets, full orchestra sets around the ship as well.
you get a
We
house
also
band
have,
and a party band. Has that been the case
yes,
on all of your ships you've been on? Is that a standard?
that is a standard,
That's
yes.
so cool. Sorry, I've cut you off. Keep going.
Oh, yes.
Sorry.
So normally, because the house band will be performing with our guest entertainers in the theatre, we don't ever want a venue to be quiet or not necessarily. We want obviously want people to be able to relax, but we want to make sure
Atmosphere
that we
though.
keep that atmosphere alive. And so
Yeah.
whether that be our amazing Irish duo, the duo we have on here, Kind Ears, are outstanding. And normally their venue is packed. So we'll have that music going all the way through the piazza. We also have the Encanto violin duo. So if you are wanting a bit more of a relaxing atmosphere, they'll be on in a whole few different venues. And we've actually brought something in with Princess called the Candlelight Concerts.
I've heard about this. It sounds amazing.
Yes, so right at the very back of the ship, we have the Vista Lounge, and Vista's a great venue. We darken all the lights. We put these beautiful, obviously safe candles, all throughout the venue, and we make sure that it's just a really peaceful, calm, and just a very electric and almost mysterious atmosphere. It's beautiful.
You know, I really appreciate this. And I'm going to dive around a little bit because I started thinking about live musicians and the variety. I'm sure you've got lots of piano bar entertainers on there
Oh,
as
yes, we
well.
do, of course.
you you're we are known for guests that like to be active. So the
Mm.
music is not finishing early. I'm guessing we're going all the way till 11.
Oh,
How late
no,
are we going?
no. Our music goes later than that.
Oh, I was right. I was going to say I wouldn't have said it. I thought you were going to go earlier. That's amazing. So
So
that's what it's about. Like,
yeah, so normally our live music will normally finish maybe about 11:30 in terms of the live music, but that is when our club wakes up.
love it. I love it. But I'm sure that
So
would surprise a lot of people too.
Yes, so depending on the ship, obviously different classes of ship have different venues. But here on Majestic, we have what we call Club Piazza. So the second the party band finish at normally around 11:15, 11:30, that's when the DJ starts straight away, keeps the atmosphere alive. And normally he's going until about 1:30, and depending on the itinerary, sometimes later.
So great. And then if you want to dance to the DJ, you've also got silent disco on some ships.
Yes, so normally we will do 2 to 3 silent discos per cruise, depending on the guest level of enjoyment. And we normally actually have sometimes my cruise director Andy as well. He'll even be one of the DJs in that. So a lot of our cruise directors do also have that DJ skill in the background, but there'll always be at least 2 channels, most of the time 3, and guests can switch between them as they like. And honestly, it's absolutely hilarious to see.
It's one of my favorites. And so if you don't know what silent disco is, everyone has headphones, different, you can choose which DJ you follow. So you could be dancing like this, and the person next to you could be doing, I don't know, like Grease. Yeah, Macarena. And it just, whether you're watching, my favorite thing is to watch and then hear people singing 2 different choruses to 2 different songs at the same time.
Mm.
Um, I love it. Now, we have talked about a lot of entertainment. You're, of course, looking after the entertainment staff. I'm sure
Yes.
they're a phenomenal team. Now, with them, they also run trivias. They're so popular. Games. I'm sure they do activities like that too. These happen during the day. Do they happen at sea days and in port days? I mean, sometimes guests don't want to get off. They really enjoy the ship. How does that work? Have we got options in port as well?
Absolutely, 100%. So obviously our sea days will be our busiest days, as that's when everyone's on board. We make sure the entertainment is ramped right up, with there normally being multiple activities on the hour and on the half hour. However, on our sea days, normally on our port days, most of our guests will get off in the morning, so we keep the mornings just a little bit quieter. But the afternoons, when people are maybe popping back for lunch and then maybe staying on board, maybe if the weather's not been great, we will also we do events on the every half hour. So there's always something going on that our guests can get involved in. Also, as well, there'll be multiple movies and concerts on Movies Under the Stars. And depending on your ship, sometimes we will move, if it's again a colder itinerary like Iceland or Norway, we'll move those movies into one of our inside venues to be kind of create a little cinema as well.
All right. And I'm sorry, I keep firing things at you. For some
Brilliant.
guests, we got 2 other things. We got comedy and things that you might do in the Vista Lounge, and we've also got production shows. But before we get to that, space is a huge thing, and Princess has a
Mhm.
phenomenal guest to space ratio, but also a variety of venues that give you, as
Yes.
activities manager, the opportunity to host lots of things. So, talking of host lots of things, tell me, would you like to go production shows, comedy? What would you like to talk about first?
Okay, let's jump into our theatrical shows as well. So right at the very front of the ship, we've got our Princess Theatre, and that is a here on Majestic. That is a 913 seat theatre, but obviously depending on what class of ship you're on, that's either smaller or larger, depending. But with our theatrical shows, that features a full, I think it's an 15 or 16 strong cast. We've currently got a couple of moving in and out at the moment. We're a 16 strong cast and of singers and dancers, and who are performing on this ship. We have 4 different shows. We have Fiera, Fantastic Journey, Encore, and also Sweet Soul Music. So 4 very different shows, something that each of our guests are going to really enjoy. If you then go on to another ship, you might have shows like Five Skies or Spotlight Bar. I think probably if you went across all the ships, we've maybe got 20 to 25 different theatrical shows that some of them you may see on other ships. Some of you will only see, for example, Fantastic Journey on this ship is only on this ship, and Caribbean Princess. So it's always something new that guests are going to see.
I really like that. And you said they're singing and dancing. It's live
Yes,
theatre, high
yes.
energy, high tempo. The theatre, you
Mhm.
said 913 seats. The theatre itself, if you've done a ship visit, if you've been on a cruise, theatres are stunning. There's no bad seats in the house. There are
Yes,
phenomenal locations for guests who maybe might be in maybe in a wheelchair that need to get a different spots and still be around their families. Uh, we just want to make sure everybody has a chance to experience these shows in the best possible way. And the chairs themselves are comfy, which is
they are.
really big. Princess Premier, don't want to talk about the packages too much. That's not really the webinar for this, but you do have some special seats in the theatre for the production shows for our Princess Premier guests. Quickly, can you tell us how
Yes.
that works, Sarah?
Yes, so for those production shows, what we do have is we always have a section of seats that are for our Princess Premiere guests. So as part of that package, they do have those seats. So that is, however, only for those theatrical shows, which we put across as the songs, the shows with the singers and dancers. Those are the shows that our guests are able to use those seats. However, 5 minutes before the show, if there's any left, we just leave them for anybody else. But once the guests come in, they will be able to check in with one of my team. So my team, who was it? Rowena and Paige were there last night, and they were just checking those guests in when they come into the venue, and they will then be offered those seats.
That's amazing. I mean, but what a fantastic benefit of that. When I told my wife about the different ships and different packages, of all the different things for Princess Premier, the thing that she was like, wait a minute, I could take my time at dinner, go watch live music, and just get a great seat a few minutes before the show starts. And I'm like, well, yeah, too, like, look, I'll stay about 5 minutes. It really is just a beautiful theatre. Do you mind quickly telling me a
Of
little
course.
bit about comedy? Actually, comedy slash variety, and then we're going to go to enrichment. I'm asking so many questions here. Let's do it.
Well, I'm happy to answer anything. So yes, we have within. So obviously we have our theatrical shows, but we also have a selection of fly on and fly off guest entertainers that join every single cruise. So normally on a 10-day cruise, we can have up to between Laugh Lounge and we can have 5 to 6, even 7 different guest entertainers joining each cruise,
They fly on the ship, perform, head
and then
out
leave.
again. That's
Yes.
so great.
And one of our strongest programs of that is actually our Laugh Lounge. So, the very back of the ship in the Vista Lounge or Club Fusion, if you're on some of our other vessels, we will make that our comedy lounge for the cruise. So, whereas cruise director Andy, the theatre is his main venue, Vista is mine. So, that's kind of like my house, that's my home. And so, we will have normally 3 or 4 different comedians who'll come on per cruise and do great half-hour, 30-minute snippet shows, performing 3 shows a night. And then normally, so those 3 shows on the first night they're on board. Then the second night they do a 10:30, what we'd call an 18 plus R-rated show.
That's amazing. And that's a lot of comedy, right? And
It
30
is.
minutes for comedy in professional settings, it's a long time. I mean, most professional comedy sets are 7 to 10 minutes. So that's great. And you mentioned you do both family friendly as well as if guests want the more adult material, that's another option as well.
Exactly. So, one of our big pushes at Princess, especially, is that we want to make sure that we are including all of our families and all of our guests in general. We want to make sure that everybody feels included and everybody can be a part of the fun. So, again, we always make sure that if there is something that is going to be on the 16 plus, 18 plus side, that is advertised as such. If not, everyone can come in and get involved. But yes, those 3 comedy shows, which will be family friendly, and then that one 18 plus adult show, which is sometimes the most well attended ones we get.
I get that completely. One of the things that really Princess is known for, you have to talk about enrichment. We have to talk
Yes.
about, I guess there's 2 different things. There's also a position on board Princess that I'm not aware exists in this capacity on other ships, where you have someone on board that is letting guests know about the ports that are coming, as well as hosting enrichment talks about these destinations. Can you talk to me a bit more about this position? Because I know out there in the industry, sometimes this position exists and it's the person from Shorex. It's just talk about Shorex, or some other businesses, it could just be connected to shopping, but ours isn't. It really is enrichment experience led.
Yes. So here on Princess, obviously itinerary dependent, we do have a destination expert, and that will be someone that knows the ports inside out and will be there to basically give our guests the best chance to enjoy those ports of call without having to book a tour.
That's so great. And they're free in a theater, in one of the venues, and get it's on the program. They can just turn up and watch the watch the chat.
Exactly, yes. So a few days ago, we've got our destination expert here as a lovely lady by the name of Sue. And so Sue also does office hours where guests can just go and ask her questions about ports. And it won't be in any way a sales pitch. It is just a chance for her to talk about the places she loves. And Sue's been doing it for a very long time. She's incredibly knowledgeable. Her talk about Reykjavik, which is where we were yesterday, was a few days ago, and the Princess Theatre was packed.
But that's so cool, right? You really want to maximize your day. And I appreciate you telling me about that. She does that, and we do enrichment for other things as well, and other destinations, don't we? You do activities with the crew too.
Yes, so we do. We have at the moment we have two different guest lecturers on this ship. We've got Jacob Marvin, who's been talking about medieval history. He's actually been with us from the British part of the season as well. He, obviously sailing out of Southampton, we want to kind of make sure that those talks are related to the places we are in the world. So he was specifically talking about medieval history as we were sailing around the United Kingdom.
Love it. I love it. And these, go ahead. Sorry, I cut you off.
Yeah. And then one of the also the things we have that is really cool here on Princess is we will often do shows with local ports of call. So if we're in Hawaii, we'll bring on hula dancers for an evening. If we're in Belfast, we'll bring on Irish dancers for the night. And they're different. Specifically, they'll literally come on the ship, they'll perform the show, and they'll leave that same night. So it's if we're doing a later sail. So, for example, when we are in Honolulu, the guests will come on about, we think we sail about 10 o'clock. The incredible hula dancers, I think there's nearly 30 of them, will come on, they'll perform their show, two shows, and then head on the way and we'll sail to our next port.
I think it's so great. And then in regard to variety shows, you mentioned the production shows. You've got four on your ship, but you've also going to have extra days. So those variety acts in the main theatres, are they singers, jugglers? What kind of
Mm.
performers do you have? It's
Oh, they
variety.
They can be anything and everything. So, for example, last night we had a group called the Trawlermen who were doing Celtic and Irish music in sea shanty style. A few days ago, we had Goronway Tom, who was doing full comedy and variety with everything from juggling to magic. And then even tonight, we have Greta Salome, who was on the Eurovision Song Contest back in 2012 for Iceland, will be performing us with it here in the Princess Theatre tonight, again, because we're in Iceland.
I see, but I love how you connect with the destinations. Shore excursion, we go quickly mention, we've got a phenomenal shore excursion program, but there is also going to be a lot of shore excursions we do that really connect the connection shore excursions. Do you have any information about them? Because that's something I guess seems to be really excited about.
Of course. And yes, obviously, we want our guests to enjoy port in whatever manner they like, but we will always recommend those shore excursions in the best way we can because they truly are the chance for our guests to make the most out of these ports of call. And they do really have a great time with that. I will also say as well what I love about our excursions, they are a return to ship guarantee. So it takes away that stress and that nerves of, oh my gosh, I'm going to miss the ship. You can actually go out and make sure that we will hold the ship for you if you're on a Princess organized tour.
Which is also one of the reasons why lots of guests love the fact that if they've got younger children, let's go to see the Colosseum, right? The parents want to go see the Colosseum, and they've got younger children that are just having the best time in kids club. But the parents are going on a princess tour to the Colosseum. Children are staying in the kids club, and then at the end of the day, they're coming back, which also gives an extra opportunity for them. The kids are having a good time, the adults are having a good time. And I know there's lots of different information about that, but something that not a lot of cruise lines do. And I really want to highlight that it gives you extra options as a parent. Like those multi-generation trips really has something for everybody. All of our tours have different energy levels or ability levels
Yes,
matched
oh,
into them
100%.
too. That's
Yes, so
great.
that yes, that is one of the things we really appreciate as well is that we will also give those different ideas on whether something is easy, difficult, hard. We'll always make sure that those are based at different levels. Now, this can be everything from kayaking down the fjords to doing a nice simple walk around town or doing a bus that just takes you by each of those ports of call. So depending on your level of accessibility, we really care about accessibility at Princess Cruises. We want to make sure that everyone can be included. And we recently, the Majestic Princess actually went through a full dry dock where all of our venues were made accessibility compliant as well.
You've even before you said that, Sarah, from your verbiage about everyone being included and involved, I really get that feeling as well. So I really appreciate you highlighting it because it is super important that everybody, no matter what the generation, who they are, where they're from, feels connected. And that is another thing that really stands out is that our guests are from everywhere. I was watching Cruising to the Ends of the Earth. I mean, you know about that show, of course, superstar from the show.
Yes.
But they were saying out of Japan, like 70%, 80% of guests, I think they said, were from Japan, right? different ports. You have different people from everywhere, and is that something you've experienced? And
So what I do truly love about Princess is that we are a very much a multinational brand. So we have nearly 42 different nationalities of crew on board, and our guest demographic also reflects the same amount as well. So for example, this itinerary, we do have primarily US based guests, but we also have we've got I think 2,000 guests from the US, 700 guests from the United Kingdom. We've got even 300 guests from Canada, and then trickles down Australia, New Zealand, Hong Kong. We've got guests from everywhere, and we want to make sure that our program highly reflects that. So over in Japan, so obviously if you'd watched the Diamond Princess there, that is our Japanese-based ship. So we will always make sure that ship is run in two languages. So we have two cruise directors, two activity managers, and everything is done in those two languages, and it's really cool. I would love to do the Japan itinerary. I'd love to be the activity manager over there. I've actually asked for it, so fingers crossed. But we shall see.
I love that so much. Fingers crossed for you as well.
Thank you.
We have mentioned Children's Club, and
Yes.
we have at Princess a phenomenal youth club, different age brackets, trained youth staff, and the facilities themselves are great too. But from you, an activities manager, do you have many activities if the children don't want to spend the time in the different youth clubs, which are amazing, but they want to spend time with you for different generations? Do you have anything you do for families? I mean, I've got young children doing stuff together, maybe in the early evening and different times could be nice, right?
Of course, yes. So we do obviously have that youth centre where a lot of our guests do very much utilise that programme we have. But we also want to make sure that we have a great programme for our kids outside of the centres. So we do a lot of family game shows. So for example, we've got the family quiz show, we've got Risky Pick. These are all game shows that are specifically built for our family market and are presented across all of our ships. We also make sure we've got family karaoke, which will be earlier on in the day so that the kids aren't having to stay up until the
Perfect.
middle of the night. And again, all of our events, we make sure they are family friendly. So for me, every 6:30 event that I do in Princess Live is geared at our families. Now that is just my own personal as an activity manager, but we always make sure that from that 6:30 mark is the family friendly event, and then from there all of our other events we tend to try and gear towards making sure those families are, and the later we kind of get on in the night, the more we can kind of push the boat out a little bit.
I love it. But I love that Princess is giving you, with your experience and you're on that ship, the freedom to adapt that program. It was
Oh,
something that was really
100%, yes.
important to me when I was managing entertainment on board, that we are adapting for our guests. And some weeks you just have a lot of guests that want to sing karaoke, and some weeks you have a lot of
Mm.
guests that just want to dance. And it's no 2 weeks that are the same. And I think the fact that you have the ability to adapt is really special. Um, I want to make sure I've gone through so many things already with you, Sarah. Is
Yes.
there anything else from your world of onboard experience or going ashore that you think I've missed before I hit you with a couple of quick fire questions? Before I let anyone here, if you have a question, please put it in the chat as well now because we're almost at the end. But Sarah, for the onboard and going ashore experience, anything else that you think from chatting to your guests, whether it be the medallion or just general interaction, that you think helps Princess stand out and give just the best experience to guests when they sail?
So there's two things I want to touch on. The first one is yes, our medallion. Our medallion program on board is incredibly strong. It's something that is very unique in the industry. And actually, even this cruise, I've been able to see it a little bit more myself. My own family booked a cruise, this cruise, and have been sailing with me on board. So I actually been able to kind of see even more in action how the medallion works, whether it be the simple option of opening up your door. Myself and my mum were walking back to our cabin the other day, and our hands were full, and then the door already was open. And whether it be, so my dad's been able to locate my mum all around the ship very easily using our app, and also been
Did
able
Mum ever
to,
turn it off so he couldn't follow him anymore, like follow anymore?
thank goodness, no. But it's been, and also whenever they go to a venue, say when we went to a specialty restaurant the other day, because of our medallion technology, no bill was had to be added. No one was coming over asking for cabin numbers for bills. It was just all sorted without you even having to see.
And do they do the Ocean Now delivery? Are they getting, like, before they're getting ready for the evening? Are they getting a cocktail or a coffee? That sounds great to me. Waking up in the morning and going, I want a coffee on my balcony, and just message it on the app and like just getting it to come over. I mean, that's
So
great.
A few days ago, we were actually sat watching the sail out from Norway, and my dad went, "Oh, you know what, Sarah? I'd really fancy a burger right about now." And he simply went onto the app, ordered the burger. 5 minutes later, it was with us at the back of the deck.
That's so cool. I think that's amazing. And I mean, there's a chat to the crew function on the app, but
There
I
is,
guess they
yes.
do that to you anyway, right? But they can message you through the app. You can add them.
Yes, so if our guests have maybe a bit more of a simple question, they don't want to wait down at a line in guest services, they can simply pop on the app, message the chat, and it's not AI, it's not a bot. There is actually a person sat in the back office answering those questions live.
That's so great. Yeah, the medallion is pretty amazing. I love it. And
Yes.
like you said, you had two things. What's your last one before I open up the field to questions?
So the only other thing I wanted to talk about was our two. There's two moments. We have our teammate farewell at the end of the cruise, where every single cruise we bring out nearly 100 members of the crew. Now we have nearly 1,000 crew members on board here, Majestic. Actually, we've got 1,200 on this particular ship, and from that point, we will bring out a whole selection of them, maybe 100, 200, and we will congregate in the piazza and just give a chance for our guests to really connect with our crew and just make it a really special final moment of the cruise. Depending on your itinerary, that might be in the piazza, it might also be in the Princess Theatre, where just the crew appear out of nowhere like magic. And normally from that, we will take a whole selection of those guests. They get to go and do a tour of the galley as well.
I love that.
So
And
we love showing a little bit of our behind the scenes as well at Princess. Wherever we can show how the magic happens, we always do. So we'll bring them into the galley as well, directly from the teammate farewell, so they can go and have some time with that as well, and get a chance to see our incredible chefs in action and our incredible 500 strong dining team.
and talking of dining team, Baked Alaska.
Oh
Are
my
you pro Baked
goodness.
Alaska?
Oh, I love Baked Alaska. Baked
Top
Alaska is
tip.
a time.
Make sure you do not don't make sure you do not miss. Tell your guests, don't miss Baked Alaska night. It's a must. It has to be done. Majestic, I have to say, well, you got a chance to meet Giuseppe, the food operations manager, with you too. He's worked for Princess for 40 years. I did 15 at sea. I mean, like
Yes.
40. I mean, how many guest interactions? And you talk about service and connection with crew and everything else, but that's unquestioned for me where a difference is made. Sarah, you mentioned you had two things. We're almost at the end. Have you got one more top tip or shout out
Think
recommendation for agents? We get a lot of people watch these videos on YouTube later as well. So if you're watching, please
so
give a shout out to Sarah.
yeah, that was one event that you should definitely not miss is our Captain's Champagne Waterfall. To the very start of the cruise, we bring out all the senior officers into the piazza, where we have a tower of nearly 400 glasses that are all stacked on top of each other without any kind of aid. I believe if you were watch Cruising to the End of the Earth, you would have
It
seen
was
this
on last week.
being built. Yes, I
Yeah,
was
yeah,
there
yeah.
when they built that.
Wow.
And so, as they built that tower, when they simply poured that champagne onto the top of the tower, it's the opening start of the cruise. It's a moment our guests should not miss, and it really celebrates the opening of a formal night.
And even in Japan, we do something as well. The first night of the cruise is very similar. The breaking of the sake barrel.
Yes,
I just
they
love
do.
that immersion and the connection. Sarah, I've got a question for you. You ready? Some quick fire
Okay, I'm
questions. I'm
ready.
going to see
Hit
if
me with
anyone
it.
has a question here. Sarah, what is your favorite ship?
Oh my goodness. I should say Majestic because
You
I'm
should, yeah.
here. It is
I was
it
giving
is
you
the
an easy
best.
one.
I love Majestic, but I will say I'm going to be heading. I was on Discovery on my last contract where I filmed the TV show, and I'd had a wonderful time over there. Every one of our ships, as they've been built, they've continued to add new venues and newer moments. And I love Discovery purely because it has an event called the 360 Dining, which is an indoor theatrical show that also includes dining with it as well. That is an event that you can massively push if it's on the ship that the guest is looking at. That's probably one of the reasons why I do love Discovery as well.
All right, I've just got a question here. What's your favorite port from Paul? But I also want to
Oh,
know from you as well, what is your favorite venue or what is the one thing that
mm,
when guests talk about the Majestic, they should mention? But
oh,
do whichever one you want
100%.
first.
I'll say the venue that our guests shouldn't miss on Majestic is O'Malley's Irish Bar.
Yeah.
From the music to the amazing food to the general vibe of that venue, that is a place they shouldn't miss. However, I'll always be biased. Princess Live will always be my favorite because, as well as being a full on Majestic anyway, as well as being a full entertainment venue that is only mine, it is also a full TV studio as well. So often our Yes No game show will be filmed and recorded and then put on the guest TVs afterwards. They can watch it afterwards.
And is that the same with the enrichment and things like that, the port talks? Do you ever put them on
Yes.
TVs?
Oh, absolutely. Yes. So if our guests can't make it to the talks, we put those all on the TVs so that our guests can watch them after they've happened. So, for example, if you missed Reykjavik with Sue, you can watch it later on your TV and be able to watch it from there.
Why are you getting changed? I love it. Any other questions here? Um, I can't see it right. That
Oh, I
press
think there was
me.
my favorite port.
Oh, yes, please.
I personally love Skagway over in Alaska.
That is a. Why do you love Scapway?
Skagway is such a diverse port. Whether you just want to kind of shop and do a little bit of the Alaskan experience, you can. Everything's really close by. It's also where we have one of the trains that takes guests right up into the mountains.
Yeah.
And also, I love hiking, and there's some incredible hiking trails and some amazing views, which are absolutely incredible. Actually, let me see. I know you're on a call. I'm going to try and show you what I'm looking at right now. We are
I
currently
am
in.
not upset about this at all, Sarah. This is amazing.
Go ahead and turn my camera around.
That is sensational.
So this is Iceland today.
I love it. Thank you, Sarah, for sharing that.
Yes.
I've got a couple of questions come through. Some guests are not tech savvy, is what
Hmm.
Terry said. How do guests get on without using the app? You've got your Princess Patter. How
Mm.
easy is it to navigate with that? I will say this week, I'm sure you've seen it on board. They've done an upgrade to the app. It's even simpler than ever before, even less clicks and more easier. But how is it without the app?
Yes. So for that first point, we have definitely even made our app even more user friendly. It was fairly easy to start with, but now it's been even more kind of simplified and made even stronger on that front. But you can do the experience purely without even going near the app. So we do have our Princess Patter, which is released every single day, and that gives us the best events that you can go to on board. I think 90% of what will be on the app will be in the Princess Patter. So if our guests are more traditional, that will be popped into their room every single night. They don't need to ask for it. It's always there. And I see many of our guests walking around the ship with a Princess Patter, and in it you'll get information about an officer or what our best events that you shouldn't miss are. That will always be there too.
I love it. And we are at the end, Sarah. I just want to say thank you. Just for me, I really appreciate it. We've talked about how inclusive and how engaging everyone is, about how the princess experience does stand out from the size of the theatre to the engaging crew. But it's also not too formal. Like even it's not stuffy. It is a
Hmm.
welcoming, engaging atmosphere as well. Of course, you have elegant evening where you have to dress up a little bit more. But in general, it just feels like a really elevated cruise for people that just want to be active and discover new ports. And um, I'm really happy you took the time to chat to us today. Sarah, I can completely see why they wanted you on this TV show. And I hope I speak for everyone on this call today and anyone watching later that we will be cheering when we watch you on the TV show. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Well, thank you so much for having me. It's been an absolute pleasure, and I truly hope that I get to see some of you on a cruise in the future.
I'm on board your ship Monday. Please let me know what you want from Greg. You can have whatever you want.
Thank you. I'll see you then.
Have a great day, everyone, and thank you for joining us today.